Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is a very sweet hanging Christmas decoration. You obviously can't see it because you're looking straight down, but it hangs from your tree and it's really it's cute, it's small, you can see on the size of my hand, it's not very tall. It measures 1 by 1 inches by 2.5, which is 2.5 by 2.5 by, I think, 6 centimetres? 6.5 centimetres. So very small, very sweet, and you're never going to believe what's inside it or how many of whatever it is inside it. I'm going to show you how to make it. Tiny piece of paper. It's 4.5 by 4.5 inches, which is 11.5 by 11.5 centimetres to a metric version. This is, I call this the Crazy Santa paper. It's not, it's actually Santa & Co. And you can't really see this paper at the bottom, but the Father Christmases only run along the bottom of the sheet of paper. Let me see if I've got a full sheet I can show you. They're not Father Christmases at all, they're snowmen. They only run across the bottom of the sheet of paper and the top is beautiful snowflakes. So I've just used the top half of it. But I'm going to do a slightly different one. This is the All Is Calm DSP, which is lovely. So I'm going to show you how to make it. 4.5 by 4.5, as I said, 11.5 by 11.5 centimetres, and you score it so simply at 1, 2, 3 and 4 inches, which is 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10 centimetres, and then you turn it around and score it at 1, 3.5 and 4 inches, which is 2.5, 9 and 10.5 centimetres. It's such a simple box, but they're going to look gorgeous all over your trees. Can you see those score lines there? Perhaps. So, fold them all and burnish gently because it's paper, and it's a small piece of paper. And then the piece to remove, hopefully you can see that, you've got squares at the bottom, you've got 2 thin parts at the top, there we go, 2 thin parts at the top, and then you've got squares at the bottom, and it's the little rectangle down here, without stabbing your, I've just stabbed my paper snips into my finger. Ow. Remove that bit without stabbing yourself, and cut up those score lines. And then, because this is paper to paper, you can use snail, but I think if it's going to be on your tree for any length of time, maybe something slightly stronger. So I'll just put snail everywhere. And that's my back, so I want to fold my sides and then my back in, and this little part here is the front. And then when you pinch close at the top, it will resist there because you have already set the score lines, so it won't go any further. I'm not going to show you what I'm going to put inside just yet. My stars are cut with the Itty Bitty Accents Shapes Punch Pack. Has got a tiny little heart, which is missing off my... No, it's not, it's there. Tiny little heart with a sort of sweetheart bottom, the flower I use quite frequently, and this little star. And I have cut 12 to go all the way around my box, so there's 3 on each side. I'm going to fire them across the room. This is the Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. I'm just going to take 6 because you know, don't need to watch me put 1,000. Did I cut 6 out? No, I only cut 5. Didn't think I'd counted correctly. There we go. And to elevate these, you get your mini glue dots and your paper piercer, and you roll a ball out of the glue. So you fold it over to the side into a half and then into a quarter, and you get a ball of glue. And when you put it on the back and pick it up and then put it onto your box, it has got it's got slight elevation. There you go. You can perhaps see that against my hand. And it lifts it up and it just, well, it stops it being flat and ridiculous as it sounds because the box is 3D. That's just gummed up. It just makes it look 3D. making all of a tangle. This paper piercer here is the one I use only for glue dots. You see, it's all gummy and yucky. Do you know what I'm saying? You'll never guess what's inside the box, but I know I'm going to call it. I think that probably the title of the video has given the game away as to what's actually inside this box. Do you know, I'm not very bright sometimes. Last one. There we go. So what does it hold? Or how many Hershey Kisses does it hold? Let's see. I know exactly how many it holds. There's one. And for ladies in the UK, Tesco's has Hershey Kisses, or Amazon. 2, 3, 4 Hershey Kisses. And if you tipped one up the other way around, it would hold 5. But 4, so comfortably. Listen, you can hear that there's rattle room. There's room for more. Okie dokie. Right, I want to tie my ribbon loop first before I attach it with the paper clip. This one is Smoky Slate because that's the colour in the background. That's probably far too long. So I'm going to tie my knot in the end because that's what I will hang it with. A not very neat knot, so I've left half of it behind. There we go. That's my knot. Trim it off and make it look lovely and pretty. And then these are the hodgepodge paper clips. So there's all sorts of shapes. There's hearts and stars and sort of quirky arrows, and then just really basic paper clips, but they're thick and chunky ones, so you have to give them a little bit of help first. And simply slip it on. Somebody's knocking at my door. And then slide it on. And that is my Hershey Kisses hanging tree box. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. There goes the doorbell, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.